Okay, everybody, so it is almost time for a marathon, and that means we are checking out the pledge form to make sure we all know how to answer the pledge calls that come in and the pledge emails that come in. There have been a few changes since the last time I made one of these videos, so listen up. First thing is to go to the staff login. You can get to that from the public website at the bottom left corner. Here's the staff login page. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Got access to a whole lot of tools because I'm the general manager. You won't have quite as many, but you'll want to go to call in pledge form right here. And there it is. There's the call in pledge form. And so there are a couple ways that people can make a pledge. One is over the phone or in person, but that's rare. The other is online. Now we'll talk about on the phone first. So the first thing, somebody calls up, ring, ring, you answer, say, oh, hey, yeah, this is Nathan Moore, WTJU, can I take your pledge? They say, sure can, I'd like to give you $100. Well, okay, you can go ahead and jot that down if you want. But the main thing to ask first, it'll save you some time, have they donated before? So ask that. If they have not, then go ahead and fill out all their information. Just type it in, address, their names, etc. If they have donated before, click that, and you can ask for their phone number or email address for a quick lookup. So I'll say that yes, I have given before. My number is that. Click on lookup, and it auto-completes all the information from our database. Very important though, make sure the information is correct, okay? So Nathan Moore, I actually have moved since this, so we would want to update the information there. I don't actually want you coming to my house, so this, I'm just going to put in WTJU's address because that is where I sort of live. And so now that's correct, got the correct address. So $100, how are you going to pay your pledge? Well, I'm going to bring in a check or cash later. Okay, that's fine, but unless they are actually showing up with check or cash, don't click that. Leave it as unknown. We have people sometimes say they'll send a check, they end up paying online, etc., etc. Until they actually are paying, set that to unknown. Sometimes they want to give you a credit card over the phone. In that case, check this one. Sometimes you'll have somebody say they want to give 10 bucks a month. In that case, set it up like this, right? So that would be $120 total and $10 per month. Or accordingly, you know, if they say, I want to give $240, $20 a month, then do it that way, right? And so that's how you do that. We're going to get to online paid in full and online installments in a moment when we check out how to handle pledges that come in via, well, online. If somebody gives, let's get it back to $100, and we don't know whether this guy, Nathan, is going to pay with a check or cash or credit card or what, so we're just going to leave that at unknown for now until he pays. So anything over 75, somebody can ask for a thank you gift. For this particular marathon we're coming up to, there's just a couple of thank you gift options. There's the tote bag, and there's the hat. Hat comes in 3 colors, so you can choose right there. Occasionally we have something else that's offered, and that can come under other. So just check whichever one it is. By default, we will mail those thank you gifts, but we can also do pickup if somebody wants to stop by. And then, of course, you know, comments are here, and that can be for whatever. So, love the show that's on. You know, people say that kind of thing. Send a message to the DJ, whatever. And so those are all the options. Oh, also important, may we acknowledge that donation on the air? Sure, absolutely. You can definitely say thank you to Nathan on the air. If a pledge comes in, so let's clear that. All right. So a phone call, a pledges come in by phone. There's one more, really 2 more important steps. First is to make sure up here that the show is correct. Now, based on the time of day, it'll auto-populate to whichever show is currently on the air. But you want to just make sure that it's set to the correct show they're actually pledging for. So if it is already auto-populated to say the Philip Glass special, but really they wanted to pledge to the show before the Christmas radio hour, you want to make sure you've got the correct shows selected up here, and then press print. Okay. When you press print, it will clear your form and be ready for the next pledge. When it presses print, you'll want to take, if somebody's paying by credit card over the phone, you'll take that printed pledge form that just came out of the HP printer next to the pledge taking computer, and you'll need to take that person's credit card information and hand write it on the pledge form that just printed out. Okay, and then drop it into the strong box kind of behind you, just to the left of the records. Now, if somebody pledges online, come over here to the Gmail account that'll be open. This is WTJUpledge@gmail.com. It should be open and logged in, so as long as it's open, you should be good and be able to check it. The thing to do here is to, first of all, print a copy of this so that we have a printed version as well. So we'll just go ahead and print that to the HP and close that, and then come over here and do the same thing here, except instead of somebody calling in the information, we're gonna just copy it over essentially. Now you really have to look at this carefully. So we don't know for sure if Nathan Moore has given before, but let's go ahead and say yes he has. Again, we can look it up. Well, let's just say no he hasn't, just so you get the experience of copying it over. You can just copy over all the information here that is relevant. Right, so you do all that, and then come over here and say, okay, well that was online paid in full. That was a pledge of $1. Big pledge right there. But again, you'll want to make sure you go through and look to make sure all the information is accurate, or rather that all the information is there. If somebody wants an appreciation gift, look into that. If it's an installment thing, that information is also there. And just make sure you've got everything copied over correctly. If it's installments, choose installments. If it's online paid in full, do paid in full. If it's installments, though, we want to do a year's worth of the pledge. So let's say it was now that was just a $1 pledge, but let's say it was $10 a month. We'll just do a year's worth of those installments here, and that would be $120. Do the math accordingly, and that's what the pledge amount is. Again, jot down their pledge premiums, their thank you gift if they choose one. Also, make sure you choose the correct show that they have pledged for. If it's left blank, then just go ahead and choose whatever show that email pledge came during, and then again, press print, and off to the races you go. Now, you'll never need to handwrite a credit card number into a printed form that came online, because the online server handled by the university stores all those in a secure way. So yeah, and then again, take the printed email that came in, as well as the printed pledge form that you just filled out, staple those two together and drop them both in the strong box. The last step for an online pledge is to then just archive this, move it over to entered pledges, and you're done. New pledges that arrive will show up in the primary inbox right here in this Gmail account. That's the gist of how you do it. Just please make sure that you go step by step and answer all the questions accurately. Again, the main things that have changed are form of payment. Unless somebody has already paid, please leave that as unknown. Also making sure that the address and information is all in there correctly. Thanks so much, and please contact Gail or Lewis or Nathan or Peter if you have any questions about how this works.